Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow, 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 ow. And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Irreverent Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, brothers and sisters. And that includes our new members who may be enjoying us for the first time, wherever you may be and wherever you want to be, because you may not be where you want to be, but there you are. In my office here, beautiful Westminster, Maryland, in my office, it's September 28th and 70 degrees. And a touch of humidity. On the other side of this wall, it's 68 degrees with 15% chance of rain. 85% of it fell overnight. And there is a 0% chance that I will finish all of the things my wife, Amona, asked me to do while she is away. Welcome to the Church of Last Resort. I am the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, OBS, MCM, LIX. People have also called me the Racy Reverend, the Pervert Pastor, the Vile Vulgar Vicar of Vice, the Sexy Shepherd, the Missionary Man, the Minister of Mischief, the Wicked Witness, the Dirty Deacon of Doggy Style, the Frisky Fry, the Ass Man Abbott, the Booty Banging Brother, the Handsy High Priest, Father Fistmas, the Wicked I Like to Watch Witness, the Holy Ho, the Divine Dominating Dominee, the Depraved Preacher, the Tickle Me Theologian, the Tickle Me Theologian, the Minister of Making Love, the Clergy of Cunning Conversation while eating pussy, and that nasty N-word. The point is that I come by many names and by many methods, but I do not come easy. No siree. Let us begin, as always, brothers and sisters, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck? Yeah. Amen. Amen. Thank you, brothers and sisters. It is time for our opening prayers, sponsored by Tantally. If you need an opening, Tantally has your opening needs. If you or someone you know is in need of a prayer by the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, please send your request for a prayer, a healing, forgiveness, or any such requests to me at Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll at gmail.com. And please spell roll with an E, just like it is on the screen. If you're watching on the screen and it rolls across the bottom, just roll across the bottom. Okay, so please remember to spell it that way. Otherwise, somebody else will get it. Like, for example, I'll give you a good example. I got a message early this morning, and that message was from my wife, Amona. And if she did not put the E on it, someone else, one of the other Jelly Rolls, would have gotten this message. And her message was, I'm changing my flight to come back home. I'm changing my flight for Monday. I will be arriving at BWI 2 hours later. I will send you my itinerary. Now, I would not have known that had she not emailed me with the proper E on the end of roll. So my wife is going to be 2 hours late, but it's not going to make a difference because by the time she gets here, I'm not going to be here anyway. So I'm just going to miss her by 2 extra hours. But the point, but that's not the point. The point is you need to put the E on the end so that I can see it. All right. You don't want one of those other Jelly Rolls touching your blessings, getting their greasy little fingers all over it, getting it all messed up. And then you get the blessings back and it's not what you asked for. It's like, what's this on my blessing? What's all this grease on it? Jellies and powdered sugar shit. What's the hell's going on with this? So make sure you get it right. Please, brothers, and make sure you get it right. Now for our disclaimer. While all prayers are heard, not all prayers are answered when we want them to be. Some loopholes and restrictions may apply. And by may, I mean they apply. If there's a loophole, we applied it. We, God can't answer all the prayers all the time, just can't do it. That's why he needs the loopholes. We explained that in previous sessions, how God works and how prayers work. And if you were present at any of those previous episodes, you know. And if you weren't, you just have to go back through the archives. And I don't remember which episodes they were, so you just have to watch every single one of them. And we're on episode 102, just for the record. Although, I'm not going to lie, one episode did not air. I can't remember which one it was, but somebody forgot to hit live twice. And they only hit live once and did the whole show without it going anywhere. So even though this is episode 102, I think you're only going to find 101. 100, because I think there was a pre-recorded one. No, but it still went out. That counts. Okay. Please bow your head unless you're driving your car or your significant other. Both can result in severe head injury. You either bang your head on the dashboard or on the headboard. So don't bow your head if you're in one of those situations. And if that is the case, just close your eyes and let Jesus do the driving while we pray. And that's going to come back to bite me in the ass a little bit later. Yes, Deadstream. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Brett James. That's right. Brett James, Grammy-winning songwriter, known for writing hits including Carrie Underwood's Jesus Take the Wheel, died in a plane crash on Thursday. That's right. Cause of death is ground. He was 57. On the plane with him was his wife, Melody Carroll, and his stepdaughter, Merle Maxwell Wilson. But as they say, the family that flies together, never mind. The plane, registered under James's legal name, Brett Cornelius, crashed into a field in Franklin, North Carolina, about 270 miles southeast of Nashville around 3 p.m. Thursday. That would be September 18th, according to the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA. According to the FAA, if the plane had gone 6 feet deeper, we wouldn't have to bury them. James worked with megastars including Taylor Swift, Bon Jovi, and Keith Urban. He also co-wrote Kenny Chesney's song Out Last Night and was regarded as one of the industry's most sought-after collaborators. Rest in peace, James. This is one time Jesus should have taken the wheel. Can I get cleared for a softer landing? Dear Lord, please bless Sister Diane Martell. Diane Martell, a trailblazing music video director known for crafting provocative visuals for Mariah Carey, Ciara, and Robin Thicke, died of breast cancer on Thursday, September 18th. Diane passed away peacefully in her sleep at Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital after a long battle with breast cancer, according to family and friends who were there and had enough time to get their stories straight. Diane worked with artists such as Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, and Miley Cyrus. Diane's greatest challenge was adjusting to Miley Cyrus's lack of butt after working with Beyonce and J-Lo. Rest in peace, Diane. Your work speaks for itself, even if you can't. Can I get a retake? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Sonny Curtis. Sonny Curtis, American guitarist, and singer-songwriter for the Crickets, has died. He was 88. His cause of death is listed as a sudden case of can go on. Because at first you can go on, and then suddenly you can't go on, so you die. Sonny Curtis wrote the classics, I Fought the Law, and Love Is All Around. Better known to some people as the theme to the Mary Tyler Moore Show. That's right. Sonny met Buddy Holly at the age of 15 and formed a group with him, opening for such legends as Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and Carl Perkins, and played guitar on several of his recordings. He left Holly to tour with Slim Whitman before rejoining Holly and his band The Crickets in 1958, shortly before Holly's death in a plane crash in 1959. Curtis took over as frontman of the Crickets right after that, which looks suspicious. Like all of a sudden, Holly's dead, and I'm going to take over. I'm just saying. Why was Holly on the plane and Curtis wasn't? I'm just saying. Okay, Curtis took over as frontman of the Crickets, and the group released his song "I Fought the Law." Oh, now it really looks suspicious. The biggest song that they are known for, "I Fought the Law." And it came out after Holly died, after Curtis took over. Like, I want to do this song. And Holly goes, no, we're not doing that song. And Curtis goes, I want to do this song. And Holly goes, no, we ain't doing this song. And Curtis says, fine, I'm not getting on the plane with you. At least that's the way I think it went. So the group released this song, I Fought the Law, on their first post-Holly album. And also the name of the album was In Style with the Crickets. While neither that song nor another from that album, More Than I Can Say, co-written with the drummer Jerry Allison, were hits for the Crickets. They became major hits when covered later by other artists. I think that is called the Anthony Newley syndrome. Okay. The former was by Bobby Fuller 4, the Bobby Fuller 4, and later The Clash, which is this rendition that I know. I mean, I heard the other ones, but the one I know and love is the one by The Clash. And then the latter was covered by Bobby V and by Leo Sayer. And I hate to admit this, but I know the Leo Sayer version. Oh, God, I know. Rest in peace, Sonny. Tell Buddy we said hi. And can I get a victory over the law? Just once. Okay, I'll take a draw. Even I can't. If I can't get a win, I'll take a draw. Dear Lord, please bless Brother John Stapleton. John Stapleton, renowned TV presenter or host for the British shows Watchdog and The Time, The Place, has died peacefully in hospital on September 21st. He was 79. Stapleton's Parkinson's was complicated by his pneumonia, and the complications from his pneumonia, simply put, caused his death. The face of factual programming for a generation, Stapleton featured widely on shows such as BBC's Watchdog and GMTV's NewsHour. After beginning his career at the Oldham Chronicle. Rest in peace, John. The time was last Sunday, and the place is, well, that depends on how you lived. Can I get a celebrity with better stuff to work with? I had nothing to work with there. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy. George Hardy, one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, has died. Another senseless death, undisclosed. He was 100. I'm just getting this morning, so I didn't have time to write a lot of stuff. I can tell you that he is, like I said, he was the youngest. He was the youngest of the Tuskegee of the Red Tails. The Red Tails. If you watch the movie, um, Red Tails, named after the red tails that their planes had, he was the youngest member of the Red Tails. He was 19. Uh, and now, if you go look at the cast and crew to find out who portrayed him, you're not going to see any of the real names of any of the real Tuskegee Airmen, because what they did was they fictionalized all of those people and just took the real events. So they attached history to fakery. They attached real history to made up characters. Saves them the trouble of having to get shit absolutely right. There are 13 remaining Tuskegee Airmen, but those 13 never saw battle. So who cares? The Tuskegee Airmen were fighting on two fronts. They were fighting fascism abroad and racism at home. And thanks to them winning both of those battles, we will never have to fight those battles ever again. What? This just in from my control room. Have you not been paying attention, Reverend? Wow. Even with that, even though he didn't say or call me stupid, I think it was implied. Rest in peace, George. You were one of the good ones. Oh. uh, and I say I would thought the same thing about playing the. I was thinking I played to crickets. He plays for crickets. Uh, yeah, I've done that. Anybody who's ever been in entertainment has played to crickets or for crickets. Yes, indeed. Uh, so rest in peace, George. You were one of the good ones. Can I get some taps? We know that they can all tap dance, so you might as well play it. Never mind. It says here, when are they going to stop letting musicians fly private planes? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know, but I think they should start letting some more prominent comedians fly private planes, thin out the herd. That's my humble opinion. Maybe let Trump fly his own plane, thin out the herd. And finally, Lord, please bless the entire behind the scenes staff at Mind Dog TV. Yes, indeed. They are truly doing your work, helping to spread your word throughout the wordosphere. They could be anywhere today, but they are here, wishing they were anywhere today. And that ought to count for something. Go to minddogtv.com/merch and place your order today for anything that's on there. And I mean anything. Just place your order. We need the money. This low budget thing, it's basically Mind Dog TV is we need the money for programs like Mind Dog TV, Coffee with the Dog. Like right now, because of funding, Coffee with the Dog is in black and white. Probably hadn't even noticed it. It's in black and white. But with more money, we can get color in there. That's all I'm saying. And then you can also get some Church of the Last Resort gear. So now let's have a bump for the Lord. Where is it? Here it is. And I will be so fucking glad when this is gone or when it goes bad. Although I won't know when it goes bad. I can't tell. You ever taste something so something that you can't tell if it's right or not? You can't say, I don't know if this is good or not. You have other people present, smell this. You pass it around and go, taste this. And nobody can tell if it's good or not. They're just assuming that since it's out there and that you just opened it, it must be fresh. I can't tell. But here it is. Your little bump today is brought to you by Shineberry Sweet Tea. 40% proof. It's whiskey and sweet tea, sweet berry tea. Lord knows. At any rate, I'm sorry. I'm stalling before I put this in my mouth because I know what it tastes like. But get you a sip. It's a sponsor. Well, they didn't really pay any money. I just got the bottle. They didn't say I had to like it. They just asked me to drink it. Lord, I'm doing this for you, Lord. Doing it for you. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Now, just for the record, I know that the sipping sound is like 4 seconds. I am not sipping for 4 seconds. I just put enough in my mouth for the contract and then I stop sipping. I just hold it there for the whole time. I don't want you to think that I'm like that brain dead that I hold something that tastes that. Wow. Lord. Like I said, it's sweet enough for pancakes and strong enough to burn a hole right through them. Lord have mercy. So, in the name of George Robbins, fuck, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck yeah? Fuck yeah! Man, see, and yes, indeed, I know I'm losing it. My cognitive skills are declining. And that's probably why I can smile about it, because I'm too dumb to know that my cognitive skills are declining, or I'm not smart enough to realize the repercussions. So, the brothers and sisters, uh, before I go to our sermon, there are people out there watching and saying, I can do what he's doing. Okay. Or there are people out there saying, I got talent. I should be on Coffee with the Dog. Okay. There are people out there going, I have the thing that it takes to produce a show, and I want to be on one of the Mind Dog TV things. Okay. Sister Curly Hair So Bright is going to tell you how to do what you want to do. Oh.
Comedians, musicians, songwriters, filmmakers, authors, and podcasters. Coffee with the Dog is booking for the
fall and winter
now. Get free publicity and hone your interview skill in a fun and safe setting. Coffee with the Dog is a live radio, live stream podcast based in New York that airs daily Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in syndication on iHeartRadio, as well as video streaming platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and many other platforms. Guests usually come on remotely via StreamYard, like Zoom but easier, although occasionally we do in-studio interviews. The morning show focuses mainly on comedians and musicians, and they have interviewed many top names and classic celebrities such as Robert Klein, Mike Binder, Eddie Brill, Doug Stanhope, Steve Byrne, Paul Provenza, Jeff Altman, and many, many others. For booking, go to minddogtv.com/booking.
Thank you, Sister Curly Hair So Bright. She is a treasure. She is a treasure. She is there every week for us, and she has not asked for a dime. She is doing this out of the goodness of her heart. And if you notice, her heart is like right there underneath of the breastises. So if you're looking for a heart, drop down to the breastises and keep staring. Eventually, you'll get to her heart. And that's the quickest way to a woman's heart, through her breastises. So, brothers and sisters, today's sermon is called We're a Volatile Cocktail. All right? Brother, and it is the third installment in our continued series, Looking for God in All the Wrong Places. We, this week, are looking inside the lyrics of the song Volatile Cocktail. Okay, Volatile Cocktail is the title track from the 1996 CD by the Urban Poet Society, a progressive rock band which had as its members Grammy-winning bass player Phil Peters, keyboard player Douglas Addy, and guitarist and lead vocalist G.D. Fenderson. Yes, that G.D. Fenderson. Yes. Although I know most people don't realize that's, all of the hundreds and nearly hundreds of people that have listened to the song aren't aware that G.D. Fenderson and the G.D. Fenderson who won the worst comedy special of all time are the same G.D. Fenderson, because it's a very common name. At the time, now I did get to interview G.D. Fenderson for this. At the time that G.D. Fenderson wrote this, he was having a crisis of faith and love. That's right. His ego or his spirit was being attacked on two fronts, kind of like the Tuskegee Airmen. The only thing holding his life together was his will to not let it fall apart and the fact that he had a career. And that's what he was focusing on. I will bring all this together. GD said in an interview in 1998 that while the lyrics tell one story, the music is the truth behind the story. It's very deep. It's very deep. Now, in this song, actually, you're not going to hear the song, but in the song, if you want to hear the song, you go to G.D. Fenderson's YouTube page, go to his playlist, and there's a thing called Volatile Cocktail, and then you can go there and find that song if you want to listen to it yourself after me telling you about it. The drum in this song, the drums were his will, and the bass line was his career. Those are the two things that are consistent through the song and are very tight and holding it together. The guitar was the woman in the relationship, and the keyboards represented God. And that's why at times the guitar and the keyboards are in sync, and at times they are not in sync. Even when they're playing the same notes, they're not in sync. Hence the conflict. So the song is about God and GD and his woman that he was living with. Okay. The first line, the song opens up obviously with the music introduction, but the first lyric is, "If you ask me what I think of you, I'll assume you mean the truth." Wow. Okay, that's powerful, because quite often people ask you a very deep question, but want the most shallow of answers. That's right. They want to hear something specific, even if that specific answer that they want is a lie. So they may say, "Do you love me?" And they want you to say, "Yes," even if the truth is, and that's a quote from some people. The author continues, "I'm more in love with what you represent than I am with you." Wow, that hurts. Because that's the answer to her question. She says, "What do you think? What do you feel?" And he goes, "You want to know the truth? I'm more in love with what you represent than I am with you." Okay. What he is saying is, it was never about her to begin with, but what I thought I saw in you. And it's the same thing with our relationship with God, because nobody really knows what God is. If you ask 8 billion people what God is, you get 16 billion answers, because nobody really knows what God is. So our love of God is based on what we think God is, what God represents to us. If God is a God of love, or a God of vengeance, or a God of mercy, or a God of salvation, or a God of giving a shit, or a God of giving a shit, we just project onto that God. And that's what he is saying. He is saying, "I'm more in love with what you represent than I am with you." Damn. Whew. Man. And it gets deeper. Get your boots on. Get your boots on. He continues, and I'll tell you what I'm feeling when I know for sure myself. Oh, Lord. I will tell you what I'm feeling when I know for sure myself. How many of you have been in a relationship and the relationship is going along and you just don't know what you're feeling? You don't know. It just keeps going. You're still in a relationship, you're just working it and working it and working it and working it. And you go through step by step by step by step by step by step, but you don't know what you're feeling. You just know that you don't want to stop it because you don't know what you're feeling. You may love this person, you don't know. And if you love them, why stop it? You're trying to figure it out. So it says, look, I'm learning as I go along. All right. That's what it says. I'm learning as I go along. But as soon as I know, you'll be the second one to know. That's right. Then he continues. Till then, let's melt that bed of snow and let's make that sucker melt. Wow. Let's melt that bed of snow, a cold, temporary, unstable structure. But even as cold and unstable as it is, even still, we can find some warmth, some temporary stability, as it were. Everything else is bad, but the sex is still good. Enough for now. Now, this is the refrain. He says it 3 times in the song, 3 times. And it is steady as a rocker. Okay, steady as a rocker. All right, that's 2 things there, 2 meanings. Okay, one, first of all, if you have a rocking chair and you try to stand on it, it's not that steady. Okay, so he's saying this is kind of crazy. Don't stand on it, but also steady as a rocker. Like got like a rocker. And they, first of all, when they're a good rocker, they're steady. Especially the bass player, the drummer, a good rocker, they're steady. All right, but you stop the music, and that's when things get crazy, and they get a little unsteady with the drugs and the alcohol and the fans, if they have fans, and groupies if they have the groupies. So that's like deep, 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 deep. Sorry. Then so steady as a rocker, steady as she goes. We're walking through a minefield, better keep on our toes. Whoa. That's right. So it says, we know we're going in someplace that's bad. We know no turning back. So just be careful where you walk. Okay. We're a volatile cocktail. We could explode at any time. So don't shake us. Don't stir us. Mix us. We'll do just fine. Okay. Things are really unstable. Things are really, really unstable. But let's not make any sudden motions or emotions that can mess things up. Man, we're talking deep shit here. Lord, I didn't even realize. I interviewed him for this, and I didn't realize it was this deep. Man. He continues after the refrain. This is the second verse, the first line after the refrain. Well, I'm emotionally retarded. Yeah, well, really, aren't we all? Here the author admits that he has not developed emotionally, and as far as he should have, he has not. But he's saying that nobody is quote emotionally stable. Nobody. Even the ones that look like they are, they're emotionally retarded. It's like we all are. Don't expect any better from me than anybody else. But of course, we always expect better of someone else than we do, than they can give. Well, not always. Not always. When you're in a relationship, there's 2 things. It's going to go 2 ways. That person is going to always hold you to a higher standard, or they're going to say, no matter what you do, you're a fuck up. In this case, it's probably a little bit of both. But the next line says, but we shouldn't let that interfere with answering the call. Wow. So he's saying, yeah, we're emotionally retarded. We're emotionally stunted, but don't let that stop you, okay? do not let immaturity keep you from trying to move forward. Now, answering the call has a few meanings here. There's the call, as in divinity. When we hear God, we call that the call. Okay, and then there's the call of nature. When we are answering to what is deep down inside of us, our true natures, we're answering that call. Okay, and then there's also the call is also your passion. Like if you're a musician and you want to, and you're trying not to be a musician. Let's say you were raised at music. Let's say you were raised in a church where they say music is bad or musicians are bad or whatever, and your passion says, "But this is what I'm good at. This is what I want to do." You owe it to yourself to answer that call. Be true to yourself. Answer that call. Now, there are one or two exceptions. If your background or your upbringing says, killing's bad, he said, but it's my passion to kill things, like animals or people. Okay, I'm not saying to answer that call, but if you cannot control it, if you really, 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 really have to, like you really feel like you need to kill animals, work at a deli or a farm where you can get to like strangle chickens and slit cows and pigs' throats. And, that way, maybe that'll help you. And if you still intend on killing people, you can, that's a tough one. Go into the army, go into law enforcement, join the Republican Party, with the GOP, join MAGA. Yeah, so if you intend on killing people, those are some options that unfortunately are still legal, and it may help quell your desire to kill things. Bear Love, you remind me of the host from Zombie Zoo. Zoobly Zoo. Okay, I don't know what that means. I've never seen Zoobly Zoo. But thank you, Bear Love, for watching. Thank you. Now, the next line the next line says, "We've sort of got a good thing if we let the bad thing slide." Wow. We sort of got a good thing if we let the bad thing slide. Now, relationships need to be graded on a curve. Okay, because no relationship is perfect. No matter how perfect they look like from the outside, on the inside, they're dealing with shit. Doesn't matter. I'm sure people have seen this in the celebrity world where you see like the power couple, the perfect couple, and all of a sudden they're getting divorced and you find out like she's shitting his bed because he's a fucking asshole, okay? But nobody knows that on the outside. On the outside, they just see the pictures and the glam and the glitz and the kitsch, that shit. That's what they see. But on the inside, it's not perfect. And they have to keep adjusting, okay? Because none of them are perfect. But if we can deal with, or overlook, or ignore, or compensate for, or tolerate them, who knows how far we can go together? See, things are screwed up. We don't have a good relationship. But if we have good coping mechanisms, that's another one, good coping mechanisms, we maybe can go far. And the next line says, and the last line for this verse is, "So hold on tight, because we're headed for a dangerous ride." Basically saying, let's do this. I know it's fucked up, but let's go. Let's do this. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but let's just keep going. Okay. GD, in the interview in 1998, had said, everybody has baggage, but if you can fit yours in the overhead, then we can make this trip together. But if you got so much baggage that you have to check it in and pay extra. Now, this is back in 98. In 1998, in an interview, people were not paying for extra, baggage, It was just part of the ticket. Now you pay for every single fucking thing. But back then, it was a big deal if you had to check your luggage in and pay extra. That meant serious baggage. So then it continues. Now, we've already read this, the refrain. But the refrain, and here's the thing about the refrain, okay? It repeats twice. Once as the refrain with the refrain music behind it, okay? Which is a little bit slower, a little bit, well, it's not slower. Technically, if you check the beats per second or per minute, or per whatever, how many beats, that has not changed. The song has not slowed down, but it feels like it's slowed down for the refrain, okay? It feels like it's slowed down. And he does this, he does refrain 2 more times. But now, the 2 times, he's not using the music from the refrain. He's using the music from the verse. And even though they're the exact same words, the tempo is a little bit different. And the syntax is a little bit different. And the emphasis was the emphasize, because he does it twice. Well, it's a little bit different. So he changes the music under the same words. Man, that's clever. That was clever. And I asked him in the interview, I said, why did you do that? Okay, well, let me go back to this. Okay, hear the work, and will, the 2 things that make the whole thing. I don't know which here. I think I have a typo. I meant to come back to this. Hear the work and will. Oh, got it. It says, hear the work and will. And this is work is his career. And the will, his will, that those 2 things that hold this. Oh, got it. So after he repeats the refrain twice, but with the verse music, he plays the verse 1 more time without the music and without the bass and without the drums, because that was his career and his will, and that's what was holding everything together. That's what was making everything work. He drops them out, and the only thing left are the guitar and keyboard. And then you hear the conflict, and the conflict is isolated. Okay, that's deep. He takes out the 2 things holding his life together, and you see why he's going crazy. The guitar and the keyboard, the woman and his God, they're in conflict, and it's driving him crazy. And he lets you hear that craziness at the end of the song. He invites you in to hear that craziness. That whoa. Right? Whoa. Now, here's the other thing about this. And this is, I didn't write this down, so I'm going to try to remember this. During the interview, when I asked him why he chose to do what he did, and I was waiting for this deep answer like the rest of the song, and he just said, I don't know. That's right. Sometimes you don't know why you do the things you do, but you look back on it and people go, damn, that was clever. That was interesting, or that was different. Even if you didn't know why you did it, it just turned out to mean something really deep to other people. Wow, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So that is the end of Volatile Cocktail. Brings us to the end. I believe, let me check my schedule. Yep, I believe next week we're looking at Lenny Kravitz's Are You Gonna Go My Way? That's right, another religious song that you did not know was a religious song, because we're all looking for God in all the wrong places. That's right. So next week, we're going to talk about Lenny Kravitz's song, Are You Gonna Go My Way? And we're going to take a deep dive into that and find out why my wife thinks he's so fucking sexy. That's what That's what I want to know. Okay. That's what I really want to know. Why my wife thinks he's sexy. Okay. All I really want to know. So I seem to have a little bit of time left. And I thought to myself, I was going to have a little bit of time left because I had two ways of doing this song, these lyrics. I had two ways. One was I could have put the music up and let you hear the music and the lyrics and paused it and did my commentary. And then I thought, but that would be the only song I would do like that. I didn't do that with the first two songs, Sea Epic by Crack the Sky, and the other one, which I can't remember right now, but there was another one. I can't remember what it was, but I did the same thing. So I'm going to keep the format the same. But if I'd done it the other way with the music, this would have been like a lot longer. But I didn't want to make it longer. I wanted to make it consistent. So now I do want to talk about something else. But before I do that, I'm going to invite people to watch Done Way Past Funny with John Kenneth. He's the newest guest, newest interview done by G.D. Fenderson. You can catch it on YouTube. And as far as I know, it's on Roku TV right now. I have not checked. But you can go to YouTube and check it out. Roku TV and Spark TV. You can check it out those three places. It's an interview with John Kenneth, comedian and disc jockey with WEBE. I think that's in Connecticut. So check that out. And we want to play this little 30-second clip for a show coming up. Well, it's coming up in November, but the reason why we're pushing it now is because, first of all, he's performing it live for an audience at the Church of Satire in Hanover, but he's also streaming it on plausible.com. Yes. That's something you want to learn about GD and shows where he has some kind of control from now on. He's going to be doing it live at the venue and streaming it live on Plausible. He's going to try to hit it on both sides. Just like that. So we're going to play this little 30-second.
Don't want those old people around here.
Yeah, that's the shortest version. That's the version I had to get. That's the one that TikTok approved. Okay, the first version was the whole song, and TikTok says no, you can't do the whole song. So you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's not even. It's a song parody. It's not even. It's a karaoke music, and they go, no, you can't do that. So GD goes, okay, fine. What can I do? And they said you have to keep it under a minute. So he kept it to 52 seconds, and they go, nope, you can't have that either. It's like, what the fuck then? You said 52, you said under a minute. 52 seconds is under a minute. And then they sent another one and says, no, it's got to be 30 seconds. So this one's 30 seconds, and they kept it. And the UB-Tubies said the same thing. The UB-Tubies said the same thing. It's like, no, you can't do this. It's like, make up your fucking mind. Make up your fucking mind. They were literally changing the rules as it went along. So Funny Old Farts coming at November 20th on plausible.com and at the Church of Satire in Hanover, Pennsylvania, both places. So I want to address something here that I've been meaning to do something for a while. I was just waiting until I had a few extra minutes here. Just recently, we had this whole bullshit thing about a rapture. As a matter of fact, on Coffee with the Dog, they even had Rapture Cam pointing the camera. One of their cameras was dedicated to this guy to capture any rapture that occurred. Okay. there were people believing in this thing, even though their own book, where is it? Where is it? Doesn't matter. I'm not bending over that far. I'm not bending over down there to get that. No. Might not get back up. Trust me, there's a Bible down there on the floor. In their book, it says nobody knows the hour. Okay, nobody knows when it's going to come. Their own book, the book that they think is so precious, they never listen to. Okay, and they take all of these ideas, all these prophecies, even when they don't come true, they twist and turn to make it fit their beliefs and say, okay, well, it didn't happen because X, Y, Z, but it's still true. They did that. They did it with Nostradamus. They did that with the prophets in the Old Testament, and prophets in the New Testament, and the prophets wherever they are. They do the same thing. When the actual prophecy does not match what actually happened, rather than say maybe they were wrong, they twist their faith and keep twisting it so they can believe in it. And the same thing is happening today. Okay, Donald Trump will say one thing and it won't happen. And people go, well, he didn't mean it that way. He didn't mean it this way. And even if he says, when he says, like, for example, on day one, I will do so and so. There was no ambiguity, and I will reduce the price of eggs on day one. No ambiguity, none. He says on day one. He didn't say, this is, actually, he probably couldn't say this is an allegory because he probably doesn't even know what the fucking allegory is. He is not clever enough to do symbolic things. The only thing he can do is lie about what he did after he done it. So he created this concept called the weave. Rather than say, look, I'm an old man, I ramble, I run on. And so, no, it's a weave, okay? Ask me about it, I'll tell you. Yes, I ramble. I know I ramble. I can own up to it. I know I ramble. I'm not going to say, I'm not rambling, I'm weaving. You hear me rambling. I'm not going to lie to your face. He goes, I'm weaving. And people believe that. And they they distort their sense of reality to twist what they want to believe. But then you have moments, like let's say I'm going to take this as an example, Kamala Harris. And I'm using her as an example because she ran against Trump. And people, for some odd reason, let Trump be president again. Because I'm not going to say the election because there's things in court that would show that there's a lot of bullshit and shenanigans that went on. Their court cases. And just on their face, you can tell that Trump cheated. But that's beside the point. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, more people voted for Trump than Kamala Harris. Let's just say that. So we're not arguing over the wrong thing. She said that he would be an authoritarian. People, no. And what did he become? An authoritarian. She said he has no plans to lower prices. What happened? No plan to lower prices. She said he's going to make his rich friends richer. What happened? His rich friends got richer. She said he's going to run the government to the ground. What happened? Ran the government to the ground. So she has said things and they actually happen without distorting them. You don't have to go back and say, well, she didn't mean that. No, she said it and it happened. But the number of people, and I'm talking to those of you who will twist every little thing you hear that Trump says to make it fit your truth, when you hear actual truth, you don't want to believe it. That's disturbing, that you can't see reality before your very eyes. Okay? In the news, just the other day, Friday, I think it was. Yeah, Friday is when I saw it. ICE threw a woman to the ground. Okay? Now, they didn't have... This is what really annoys me. if this was a planned arrest, or they planned to take this man into custody, if they did their research, why didn't they have an interpreter so they could like de-escalate the situation? So when she's saying whatever she's saying in her language, which is probably "please don't take my husband," "please don't hurt my child," "please don't hurt my husband," we don't know that. Why they didn't have an interpreter? They know they're doing this and they don't have an interpreter. That's negligence on their part. They're unable to de-escalate. They're unable to de-escalate because they cannot comfort, they cannot explain, they cannot say what they're doing or why they're doing it. Only thing they're doing is creating fear. Yet people still support that kind of stuff. I, for one, am looking forward to the day when all of this bullshit and evil that Trump is putting and Trump and MAGA are putting upon us comes to light. And we look back at history and say, these motherfuckers were a bunch of motherfuckers. And none of the mothers enjoyed being fucked like that. I'm looking forward to that day. So, brothers and sisters, please believe your eyes, believe what you're seeing. And whatever you can do, because everybody can do something, do that something. If you can write a letter, write a letter. If you can march, march. If you can afford to not buy shit and boycott, then do not buy shit and boycott. Okay? Whatever you can do it. It's time we fight back. We cannot sit back and let our country, the place where we live, go to hell in a handbasket, or go further into hell in a bigger handbasket. So that's it. I'm not going to go any further. Because I've said all I can say, and my stomach is starting to talk. I'm hungry. I'm starving. And I got some cold pizza in there that I'm just going to throw in the microwave and throw some scrambled eggs on it with some cheese and sliced up pieces of chicken. Yeah. See, my wife, Mona, is out of town. And so there was more pizza for me. Yeah, Friday night is pizza night. And usually the pizza's gone by Saturday. But now I had 2 days of pizza for breakfast. Good God, because she wasn't here. And I love pizza for breakfast. My favorite breakfast is pizza with scrambled eggs on top. Love it. So I'm going to be going to do that. And whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, I pray it doesn't have to be productive. I just hope you enjoy it. As long as you're not hurting someone, unless it's with consent. I know there's a lot of rules in there. I just don't want to be held liable for anything you say or do because you heard me say, he said have fun, and I think stabbing people is fun. I don't know. See, that's why we have a disclaimer in the very beginning of the show. So I want to thank those of you who have subscribed to my fledgling YouTube and Facebook pages. Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with an E. Thank you. Bless you. Although my numbers have not changed in the past week or two, past 2 weeks. It's holding steady. Nobody's left. That's good news. Because in the old days, people would leave. They're like, what kind of fucking minister is that? When I subscribed and liked, I thought I was subscribing and liking something else. And now that I hear him 2 weeks in a row, I can't. So those of you who subscribed and stayed, bless you. I also invite you to check out gigsalad.com so that you can, if you want to hire a comedian or humorist, GD Fenderson is available. Next time you need to hire a comedian for a private event or private party, he is available. And he's funny. Even if he's learned a lot since last week when he fucked up. He didn't fuck up in comedy, he fucked up at home. Yeah. So on behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire royal family, my wife, Mona, my kids, Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., our cat stopped dropping. Our cat, Tootsie, and our dog stopped dropping. I wish you safe travels, and I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Orthodox Time on Mind Dog TV and everywhere that our word is heard. And please say a prayer for my wife to make sure she gets home safely. And then when she gets home safely, she is without issues, because that she's a forgiving spirit to forgive me for not finishing everything she asked me to do. So, brothers and sisters, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck yeah? Fuck yeah! Thank you.